All right. So we're back in Ravnica. So, who remembers what happened last time, huh? Do I?
I can give a sort of session update.
Sure.
I remember that we were waiting for. One sec, let me look at the characters here. We're waiting for Faelish for. We were like waiting in the top like room of the something with Smokehouse Inn or something like that. For
Yeah, name I came up with.
Faelish to do a I guess weapons deal for the kobolds. Faelish being a sort of weapons maker tinkerer.
Is it affiliated?
Yeah. Affiliated.
Is it reject?
And we convinced her that we would let her go and not cause too trouble for her if she kind of lets us watch the weapons deal and like not basically let us in, and she did. And then we followed the cache of the crate of weapons to a warehouse in the Boros district, in the abandoned Boros district, into like a warehouse that was ravaged by fire and abandoned and taken over by kobolds, particularly Krenko, and so we tried to sneak our way in, and Azalea transformed herself into a kobold and pretended to be a prostitute and to try to get us inside, which eventually sort of worked and bought us an opening, and we snuck in, at which point I think we were trying to sneak in, but Chenik couldn't be super sneaky because he's a giant elephant. And we got caught and caused a kind of fight that eventually erupted into a giant mech wanting to like bust down a door, at which point Azalea and Yaya in tandem were able to pull the Krenko from the mech, and I think Azalea turned on the self-destruct sequence, causing it to blow up, and there was like all the while a big fight was raging. And then we captured Krenko, and we took Krenko to a Selesnya kind of like grove in the Precinct 6, at which point we discovered that Krenko was missing, and I guess Anna, who was helping us all along, decided to unlock it, but we don't know exactly the outcome of the role to be sneaky.
Yes. Okay.
And the PCs don't know that Anna was the one responsible.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna basically just come back in media res. So like right in the middle of that. So basically, at the time, what I said was rather than having the group catch what Anna was up to, I was gonna come up with another consequence, and so. So basically you guys have been resting here in a place that I described basically as like a canal that had been blocked off through like dirt and debris and kind of became like a natural wetlandy kind of area. And so the Selesnya seized on it, asserting their property rights to green space. And because it's not particularly valuable, the Boros, who in theory technically the Golgari could have had a claim on it because it's technically part of the water system, but because it was kind of separated off, and the Boros are technically responsible for canal maintenance in this region for certain positions, and also the Izzet have a blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they rammed it through the courts, and now the Selesnya have it, and they're not letting go of it. They've planted a huge willow tree at the end of one of the canals, and it kind of serves as a Vernati, one of the few that are like actually active. in this area. So Steed, you have very recent. You kind of untie Krenko.
Yep.
And what I will say is that a small Golgari rotworm kind of like emerges from in a hidden corner, and is the kind of like clamps onto Krenko with one of its mouth parts, and then goes back into the dirt.
Wait, what is the worm look like?
Actually, if you'll bear with me, I can actually show you exactly what it looks like. Here, just give me a second.
And do I see that?
Yes, you do, because this
Okay.
will be the person. Hold on.
This thing looks pretty big.
Yeah, no, I used the wrong word. Hold on, let me just show you.
So
what I
he
mean.
ate him. Awesome.
No, it was a Golgari worm. They're semi-tame. So hold on, I'll show you what it looks like, because I've got one.
Oh my god, so many magic things on a Golgari worm. Magic cards.
Yeah, it's nice. I can just make something up and think, oh yeah, there's a card of that, so I'll just go grab it. Hold on, and I'll show it to you guys. Here we go.
It's huge and terrifying.
Okay. Here, let me just drag you guys over, and I'll show you. Boop. Right. So this is what they kind of look like here. So. So yeah, that's like a 10-foot high sewer pipe. So they're quite large, but for worms on Ravnica, they're actually not like worms with a WURM, not WO. Like they have regular worms too, but WURM, like giant-sized worms. This is like the smallest kind on Ravnica, and the Golgari have quite a few that work in concert with them.
So wait, it grabs his arm and then pulls him into the ground?
Yeah, it burrows its way up and grabs him with like a set of its mandibles, and then kind of just like heads back down into the ground.
Holy balls.
But yeah, this does not surprise you. Yeah, this does not surprise you, Steed, or it doesn't surprise your character, because this sort of thing is kind of what was expected, right? Obviously, he's not going to sneak out in broad daylight. So, as this is happening,
did anyone else notice this like 10-foot worm burrow up?
No, worms are very quiet. Actually, they don't make a noise. You can't hear them.
Oh god, that's right.
Unless they're
terrifying.
They can only be heard when they emerge usually, and when they emerge, they usually take down buildings. So that gets people's attention.
Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, they're very sneaky, and great for espionage work. When the Golgari engage in it, they tend to use these kinds of worms for that sort of thing. So anyway, yeah, they're very hard unless you have like tremor sense, but I don't think any of you do, and it's not a common thing to have. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore in 5e, but
it is just.
Anyway, my point is, even then, you would probably have to make a pretty difficult check, especially for these guys. These guys are small, right? They're not very keep them like I say small. They're like 30 feet long, and their mouth is like 5 feet wide, but like that's small for a worm. They get really big. So anyway, as this is happening, Tyler's character, Tyler can't be with us today, unfortunately. Gets beamed with a rock, and you hear a screech coming from the rooftops surrounding the Vernati. We know you've got him. Send him out. All right. Goblins surround the rooftops on either side.
Oh, what?
Yep. Now, okay, so I'm gonna just knock Tyler out. So he's knocked out, and this. So basically, yeah. So this is we'll see what happens here. I don't know. Wait, hold on. What was this? Oh, I put. That's weird. Okay. I thought I had more space on the bottom here. Hold on a second. Let me add a couple rows. Oh, okay. That's weird. What the heck? Okay. Can you guys what do you guys see kind of my very crude drawing?
Yes.
See the
we're
water and then the
surrounded.
bridge.
Yeah, so there's the blue is the
Tree
water,
branch.
there's a little bridge, and that black thing is the tree stump of the willow that kind of overlooks everything.
Oh, okay.
And these little like circular type things are little mud huts that the people who live here live in.
Okay.
Sod, basically sod, not mud. I should, Then they're kind of warm and comfy. They got chimneys and all that. And yeah, and then so these on the other side, these are this is the canal, and then on the either side are buildings, and these kind of guys are standing on the rooftops, and you also see two more. These guys are kind of more like just like goblin lackeys, and these two guys at the head of the stairs look somewhat more imposing. So this guy over on the left here is extremely pleased with himself because he's the one that threw the rock that beamed Tyler. So he's like doing a little jig and dancing. But the guys at this guy right here is the one who is talking. And he says, "We know you got him. Send him out and we'll leave you be."
Wait, this is Krenko's gang, right? It looks like Krenko's gang.
Make a check.
Yeah, I'm actually expecting the opposite.
Make a check of some kind. What would that be? Insight?
Perception? Insight? I don't know. I'm looking for normal gang symbols.
Yeah. Make a hold on, let me look. I think insight works. Right?
Sure.
Well, I would say knowledge local, but that's not a skill. So
It's not like investigation, so it would be insight, right? You're not examining anything. You're just realizing things. Insight. These are the Shatter Gangs. They they don't look they don't look like they have the best of intentions for Krenko when you bring him out.
Yeah.
Bring him out, or we'll start torching. And you see one of them. He waves a little Molotov cocktail. You got 5 minutes.
And Krenko is gone, right?
Yes, Krenko is gone. Yeah, he's like I said. This is what's called dramatic irony. Everyone thinks he's here, but he's not here. Oh no.
Yeah.
And this is when I look around for Krenko and I exclaim really loudly, "He's escaped! What?"
So wait, where were we keeping him?
I'll say that I was thinking maybe you can keep him in one of these little huts, and that explains his escape. Okay, well, and I mean, a likely story. Get him, boys. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do.
This is when I'm like, wait! Before we start torching, why don't we invite them in to look for him? We don't have him.
Okay, hold on. Okay, that's interesting, actually. Make a check. I guess that'll be persuasion. Yeah, make a persuasion check.
I'm trying to diffuse the situation a little bit.
No. That's smart. Make a persuasion check.
Fire and lives are lost. Well, I guess
fair enough.
Yeah. Persuasion. There we go. Normal. Can I spend my insight for advantage? Is that how that works?
I think that's how you use the traditional way of using it. Yeah, you can use
also
it to
give it to somebody else.
Yeah, you can also you can do whatever you want to it. It's on any. I think on any check.
Well, that seems like an appropriate time to use it. I don't want them to burn this place
Yeah,
down.
no, this seems important. If this is important to your character, then that's the best time to use it, right?
Oh, a 13.
Okay. All right. The goblin seems suspicious. All right. How should they respond? I think. All right, they're gonna believe you. All right. Hey, Zek, Gog, head in there. And if any of them look at you, do so much as look at you funny, stick them. So Zek and Gog are these two, the head of the stairs. So they're gonna come down the stairs and they're gonna go examine.
Wait, are there any Selesnya agents around us?
There are, yes. Okay. So in the commotion, I'll say that you have one. Like, I'll just like there's like probably like half a dozen people down here with you. There's like I said, the dryad. I guess naiad because she's a water dryad who kind of is the center of the conclave and kind of works. She's like directly communes with the other dryads in their tree network. Basically, it's like the internet, basically, but with trees
and consciousness.
Yeah, they kind of like share in like one massive consciousness, but they also have their own free will. It's confusing. It's it's hard to really understand. For people who are not. But basically, yeah, I'll say that they're here, and there's just half a dozen of Selesnya adherents or so. And to be fair, like if it came down to a fight, they could probably they could defend themselves. Like they're not defenseless, but I think they like your idea, Sinich. So they're just kind of holding steady and just waiting to see what happens. I was gonna find some tokens and make them be them. Hold on, let me just yeah, here we go. I'll do some. I used these for the enemies last time, but I'll use them for allies this time. I'll just say there's just a couple. Yeah, just milling about, and I'll say that the dryad is here. She's kind of like stays in the center underneath the tree generally.
And not to overstep or like what I know.
Yeah,
I know he's gone. I just don't know how that happened. Right? That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for right now, you know that he's disappeared, but you don't know where he's gone. So the two goblins are kind of like poking around.
Wait.
Sorry, yeah.
Well, because I mean, the first thing I would do if someone was missing, like, who was in charge of looking after him? Do we know if anyone was in charge of watching him, or?
Well, I mean,
I think
given the circumstances, I think it's appropriate to say that Enno was the last person who saw them.
Okay.
Right?
Maybe
and like they were, yeah, like maybe he was in this hut, let's say, just for sake of argument, and now he's gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so maybe Sinich is over here. So he ran over to look, and he's like, "Oh shit, they're gone." And Enno was just in there like a little while ago.
All right,
I don't want to say it happened like right away, but I'm just for dramatic purposes. I wanted to say that, but like it's only been a couple of minutes since Enno last saw him allegedly, and only a couple minutes more since the rest of you saw him. So it's weird that he's gone.
And no one saw him escape, like he just vanished.
And exactly, it's like he's vanished into thin air.
And I believe is like his bindings there or whatever. We I don't know how we.
No, his bindings were not loosened. I mean, I'm gonna say that like, sorry, I will say because I think Steed said he loosened his bindings as a way of trying to escape, and I was like, oh, how should I actually make him escape? And then I was like, oh, I got an idea. I'll have a worm come up from the ground and grab him and take him away because that seems like a fun way to get him to disappear.
Okay.
But so let me just say, like, he's gone. Like, and he's completely gone, and all traces of him are gone.
Is there like a
Yeah,
trace of like
It wasn't like a giant hole.
There's not like a giant hole because worms seal holes after them after they escape.
Oh, okay.
That's
And because it's like a dirt floor, there's no like obvious place,
yeah.
right? It's not like he emerged through a marble floor and then everyone's like, "Oh crap, there's a big hole in the floor."
Yeah, it's like oh, there's like dirt on the floor, slightly loose, but who knows?
I mean, look, I'm not saying. Well, that's the thing. Like, maybe if someone had a good enough investigation check,
I'm not gonna even roll that.
But yeah, it would be a difficult one.
I'm not.
You could, in theory, do it.
My mind's like he must have escaped into the water or something. I don't know.
Why?
I think that I'm gonna look over there and investigate and try to figure out what happened.
Wait, we can't move. We're waiting for like them to like look. There's a two.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it was just to help us look.
no. He said if we go near them, they're gonna stab us.
Well, where are they? Oh, they're the yellow.
They're these. I'm not like. I'm just saying they're gonna go through the camp one by one. If you want to like give them suggestions or help them out in their search,
Yeah, he was over here. Like, Anna,
okay,
did you see
so they're gonna go in there and they're gonna make an investigation check.
No, I was just watching him. I was asking him a few questions, and I left.
We weren't supposed to ask him questions.
Shut up!
Yeah, that's good.
The goblins are snapping at you. Be quiet. They're gonna investigate.
I'm gonna back away
Yeah, that seems.
Same with me.
They're happy. They're happy to let you do that.
toward the tree.
Where are my? Here they are.
Maybe I'm gonna like slowly make my way over here to like make sure like Jaja isn't like dying, but I also don't have any like healing magic, so I'm like, you're fine. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, they just rolled a natural 20. Okay, they know. They figured it out.
Telling your goblin rolls.
They figured it out. They got it. They're like, a worm has been here.
A what?
And then they like spin around and they come back out. They're like, you tree huggers, you have worms, don't you? You let him escape. Fire at him, boys.
Oh shit.
Okay, now you're gonna have to roll initiative.
Oh no, way over here.
Okay, what we're gonna do. I don't want to do like an actual combat. What I'm basically gonna do is just have like they're gonna take actions. Think of it more like a siege action, like that you're trying to hold off a siege, basically.
Is that serious? Damn.
I think rather than doing like a traditional combat.
Well, I think because like the Silesians don't really want to like murder a bunch of kobolds, and so they're probably just gonna like put water out, and we're gonna maybe assist them. Is that how this is working?
Yeah, I think like you're basically trying to defend yourself. Let me just roll initiative, and I'll explain as we go what's gonna happen here.
Okay.
I'll wait for the turn order, or do we?
Oh no, I already did it.
It should be okay. Should be okay.
I'm just gonna roll again, then, because I did it before. Appeared. Well, I'm willing to take the 11 also.
So many 320s already.
I'm just gonna take the 11. There you go.
Okay.
It's the first one. It's the first one that rolled.
Sounds good.
Save the 20 for something else.
Save it for
Yeah,
later.
exactly.
That's how that works.
I'm just gonna roll a d20 for there when they act. Okay. And they're just gonna all act collectively.
They collectively stab you.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna be like that. They're like I said, they're not actually here to kill anybody, right?
Right.
They're just trying to.
Cranko.
Well, they're not gonna get him, so they're mad. They're just gonna try and burn this place down. But they don't actually like want to kill anybody, right? Like they're. Hold on, let me. Why can't I find my tokens? I'll tell you what, man. There's something screwy going on here.
Damn it. Shakespeare. Something is. Does anyone know Shakespeare better than me?
I don't know how well you know it.
Not well enough, apparently.
I mean, you can give me a shot. I might be able to.
It's like something is amiss in somewhere or other.
There's something rotten in the state of Denmark. You must.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the. That's
There
a
we go.
classic.
Yeah.
Mm. Damn, this is just not working, huh? Come on. I hate when like things don't work. Let's try this. There we go. That'll do it. Okay, wonderful. All right. Okay, where were we? Yeah. So, oh, I was apparently just dragging goblin tokens all over the place. Fun. Okay, so the conclave dryad, and she's like, please, just I'll get reinforcements. Please call just hold them off, however you can. And she's like immediately goes into like a trance-like state. So Andrew, you've been asked to hold them off. Like I said, it's not gonna be like a formal combat. So get creative.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, like, because they're not fighting you per se. If you want to like escalate and go into a combat, I'll allow it. That's your call. But I'm more than happy to run it as a more casual kind of like siegey kind of conflict.
Andrew, do you know prestidigitation?
I do not, but I know how to turn things into other objects.
Oh God.
What?
So is there anything that's like stone or metal here?
Sure. I'll say that there's some like rocks that are kind of like dotting around and pieces of the wall that have kind of like fallen over, have been abandoned.
Okay, I'm gonna try and convince them that they should help me with turning the stone into wood so we can burn everything.
What?
Who? Like the goblins? The goblins?
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Okay.
like, yeah, like enough with this, like burn it all, like let's get in on this. They got Krenko
Okay.
super mad, and I'm gonna say like, come over here, like.
Oh, you believe that it was their worms, but you know there's other worms.
No, I don't think it was them. I honestly, well, I'm not sure how much I know. Like, is there a clear association between the worms and the garden?
That's an interesting question.
Like, what does he? Well, maybe make an insight check to be like know the sizes of worms that are the houses around. No,
I was gonna say it depends on your character. Like you can. I was actually no. Now that I think about it, you're in the Simic, so animals are kind of your business. So make a nature intelligence nature check with advantage because animals are kind of your business.
yeah, I don't even know.
Because yeah, like people are familiar with the big worms generally because they, whenever they show up, things tend to like fall over. So people notice.
Die.
Yeah, entire neighborhoods get destroyed. So people tend to notice those, but not everyone knows about the smaller ones, or what size they can conceivably be. 17. Yeah. So you're aware of vigor spore worms, which is what they're called.
Okay,
The ones that
Vigor
Golgari
worms.
use. Yeah, they're called vigor spore worms. And they're, like I said, they're smaller. They're still quite large. Obviously, they're like 30 feet long, and 5-foot wide mouth, but they're
Okay.
relatively small for worms.
Okay.
But you know
So-
that, and you know that like regular worms like are as well, not just the vigor spore kind, but regular kinds when they're juveniles, they're also quite small. So it is conceptually possible that the Selesnya could have been responsible for this. But probably it was either the Selesnya or the Golgari, given the circumstances. Unless there's some rogue agent who's training worms, which is also possible.
Which is also possible, yeah.
Because both, especially former Selesnya, are very often worm trainers in the Selesnya tend to go off the rails a little bit and disassociate from the guild, because the guild really doesn't like using worms. They're kind of like, last resort dealio. And the trainers tend to be a little more gung-ho about using them. So very often a lot of the exiles from the Selesnya tend to be because of disagreements on the proper use of worms. So
That's
all of those are conceivable possibilities to you as someone who's familiar with them.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm probably suspicious of Anna, although I don't know for a fact, and I think it might also be like just someone independently grabbed Krenko, which is also very possible. It's probably honestly the first thing I think.
Yeah, all three of those things are equally possible.
Yeah.
Given the facts that you know.
Yeah.
Provided you can trust the goblins.
Right. But what I'm doing right now is completely a ruse. Like I have no idea who took Krenko or where he went, other than the fact that he was likely grabbed by one of these worms. But I'm pretending that I like share in their desire to burn this down, just to distract them essentially long enough to try and like buy time for whatever this dryad is doing. So I'm trying to essentially get them to. I don't need their help, but I'm trying to like get them involved to make them think I need their help to like turn all the stone into wood, so we can burn literally everything, like just completely turn it to ash. So I'm going to take my alchemical components and start like pouring them on the. It takes about a minute to like transform the stone into wood, so I'm going to try and do that on like a bunch of stone. And
okay,
actually, it's for each 10 minutes I spend, I can transform a cubic foot of material.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, maybe they can speed up the process. I don't know, but that's my intent, is to try and essentially like get them to
stall for time.
Yeah.
Okay. Make a deception check, because you're lying.
Yes.
He passes. I'm horrified.
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
Does Lesbia know if is he lying?
Let me just see if the goblins believe him first. Okay, the goblins believe you. They're like, yeah. The biomancer agrees.
Burn it!
And so these guys are actually gonna like defend you now. So they kind of like circle around you and they kind of like shove you out of the way, Anna. They're like, yeah. They've got like spears, and they're kind of like looking all angry and mean.
I'm absolutely horrified.
All right, so a couple more goblins. I'm gonna just drag some goblins from over here and put them up here.
Oh, he has infinite amount of goblins. How can we survive?
I'm just moving them around. They're gonna like scatter like sharp stones and junk down these stairs. So functionally, they'll be like caltrops.
We're gonna burn alive.
All right, Cenich, what do you think?
I think what I'm gonna start doing is probably, if there's like people are like hurling torches and stuff.
Or not yet. They've bought into Andrew. They're like, oh yeah, we'll wait.
Well, I'm just gonna start putting out their torches because I think I have a 60-foot range on my prestidigitation. So every
so as they try to light it, you're like putting them out.
Yeah, like every six every round 6 seconds. Yeah, like mostly.
Okay, so you're
or that's not me. This is me. I'm probably gonna stick by our downed compatriot Jaja.
Okay.
Which, yeah, it's just yeah. to just to protect her in case, like, I don't know.
Okay.
Or is it no? Protect him in case he blows up.
Okay. Sounds good.
But yeah.
He'll just regenerate. It's fine.
All right,
I
Anna.
mean,
What are you going to be doing this round?
You said these two guys on the bottom look important.
No, those two guys are down here now.
Oh,
They're protecting. They're going to be protecting Andrew as or Azala as she goes through all this.
Yeah.
That's part of what they're doing on their turn. Basically, I'm just going to ask you all your intentions, and I'll narrate for a bit on what happens over the next little while. rather than being like a combat where it's every 6 seconds, it'll be like every little while, and then we can as the situation changes, we'll do more things.
Yeah.
Think about this more like a negotiation type than like an actual combat.
Exactly.
Combat takes forever.
I just want to, like, I'm gonna back away.
Yep.
Towards safety, or sort of safety, and I'm just gonna ask those two, like, why do you want Cranko? What do you do to you? I'm just trying to buy time. And
okay, so you're just gonna kind of just give them the jaw, and like
Yeah.
jaw at them and be like, oh well, what's it or what's it have to do with us? Okay, make a I guess just a charisma check. Either anything you kind of want, really. Deception, performance, persuasion. I don't really care.
Persuasion. I'm just trying to get them to talk, but
yeah, persuading them to talk instead of throw torches. Sounds good. Okay, so they're okay. So Andrew, I think they're gonna wait until you do your spell. So while they're waiting, the guys on the roof are like kind of like in consternation because they keep trying to like light their cocktails, get them ready, but like it's just not working. They can't figure out what's going on. So they're like conferring. They're like, "What the heck? I can't." Hey, did you notice? Like, and so they're yammering and they're kind of like figuring out, but the other guys on this side are keeping an eye on what's going on with you, and they're noticing that the rock is turning to wood, so they're excited. They're like, "Oh man, this is super fun. We're gonna get to burn so much stuff. I love it." And Anna. So so they're like, if we nab him, this whole region will be ours. So we'll just do a little conversation with you, Anna, and then I'll say what happens.
Okay. I'm just gonna say we're just supposed to bring him to the Guild Pact. If we bring him to the Guild Pact, you get this area. Let us do our job.
He's like, but we love doing our job. Look, we were happy enough with him in prison, but he'll be even happier carving his flesh. And this guy, like at the top of the stairs, is like starts like flipping a knife between his fingers, and then he like drops the knife. And he's like, oh, and he like jumps out of the way, and then he goes and picks it up again.
I'm just gonna make a mental note on this guy's like face. Just
damn. Okay. that goblin specifically.
My memory.
Damn. Okay.
Because he looks like a leader.
Sure. Yeah. He's the guy who's speaking for the group. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna back away. Look like I'm like helping Yaya with what I can.
Sure. Okay. Well, given that you guys have managed to be pretty diplomatic, I'm gonna say that the dryad kind of like comes back too, and she looks over at Stampov and Enna, and she's like, "Oh no, out of the way!" Both of you make a reflex save.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
What's happening to Yaya?
Oh shit, Yaya.
This is my way of excising Tyler from the session.
Save. Deck save?
Dex save, yeah. I said reflex, but that was a haha reflex.
I failed.
Okay. Sinich, you succeed. So let me just have a quick look. See, I haven't put this character. I haven't put worms in the stat block yet. Oh yeah, shock. It's a worm. Another one. This one's a bit bigger though.
Okay.
So a massive worm erupts from the ground beneath you. So you, indeed, take 3d6 damage.
Oh my god.
All good. I'm at full HP.
And are knocked prone.
Oh shit. Okay.
So a big old worm emerges. I'm gonna steal another goblin and make it a worm. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna steal one of these guys. So you guys are over here. Okay, and so you see Tyler's body kind of like falls down into the hole that the worm has emerged out of. And the goblins are like, ah, run! And they all start like running for their lives as the worm like thrashes around and starts like attacking them.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna, kind of bring you guys back over here. And that'll be the end of that.
Hilarious.
So, a few minutes later, things have calmed down. The worm kind of hunkers back down at the side of the wall. It's just kind of like just breathing in and out, and like the dryad is like over there like with her, and she's like talking to it and or doing her thing with it. So, and you guys are left to your own devices.
So wait, where's Yaya? I'm like, what happened to Yaya? We just like.
Oh, the dryad's like, and she's like, I think he's a little ways. Yes, he's in an underground cavern. We should be able to get him in just a minute.
I'll be like, so I see you're familiar with worms.
She's like, yes.
Do you suppose you know what worm may have taken Cranko?
She kind of like glances over at you. She's like, obviously, somebody has dug an illicit tunnel network underneath my sanctuary. And she kind of like, a moment of like she's like frowning and she looks like genuinely angry. And she's like, we're gonna need to investigate this. And she kind of looks at Sinich meaningfully.
I look back at her meaningfully.
Yes.
Fucking hippies.
Okay, so yeah, so what do you guys want to do?
Well, I want to find Cranko. I'm gonna be like, so like, can we help? Like, can we help investigate this tunnel network?
Let's go into the tunnel network. It's time for some tunnel splunking.
Yeah, let's go down.
Okay. Well then.
You say it's an illegal tunnel network?
Well, I mean, it's probably extra legal, maybe not illegal in the strict sense. She might be speaking a little more authoritatively than she needs. Having said that, it's doubtful that whoever made it applied for permits. So,
Is there such a thing?
Do you need permits?
That depends on who you ask.
Nope.
It's a big city, okay? You ask an Azorius, they'll say yes. They'll always say yes. You always need permits. You need permits to breathe. Okay.
Do I have a permit to breathe?
Interesting. Okay. In that case, I haven't prepared this tunnel network yet.
Well,
I wasn't expecting that you guys would find out about it yet. but then the goblins made a natural 20, and I was like, they should probably find out about it. So I actually think I'm gonna not do any more because I want to make this like a proper adventure in these tunnels.
Are we
So I think we're just gonna call it today.
Oh, really?
Sadly enough, yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because I really want this to, like, this was like supposed to be something you guys did a little later. But yeah, you guys really want to go after Krenko, right? Yeah, and this is like your chance to grab him still. So yeah.
I mean, I would be convinced as a player if Anna came up with something that we could do in the meanwhile. Anna.
We could save Yaya.
Well, yeah, I was gonna tie that in actually.
Okay.
To the dungeon as a way of like,
What?
if you're like, oh, like in a like, okay, here's what we'll do. Okay, I'm gonna say that the Selesnya. Oh,
sorry,
yeah,
and cut out.
here's what we're gonna do. Instead of what I was going to do, we're gonna pull a swerve. Okay, so it's Selesnya. She's like, okay, yes, we can go find him, but it'll take some time. There's something off about. I don't know what to name the worm, but she names it. I don't know what to call it.
Charles.
Yeah, sure.
No,
Chuck.
no.
I mean, that's some worm name. This is my worm, Charles. I'm like, ah, it's almost cute.
Charles the Worm.
No, they're gonna call him. They're gonna call him. His name is. She like speaks a name that you don't understand. It's in some kind of Dryadic, but you don't understand the words, but somehow the meaning of the words is very clear to you, and the words mean impenetrable force.
Ooh.
And they say it like you have no idea what she actually said, but that's the meaning of it. And they're like, oh, he's not feeling well. It'll be a few minutes before he's able to. It'll be a couple hours before he's able to dig you guys a path.
Okay. Is there a reason he's not feeling well?
He's 8 Yaya.
Make a animal handling check.
He has to regurgitate Yaya without harming him.
Something I do not excel at.
You got no idea why that worm is sick. You don't know anything about worms. I don't know. The Dryad knows it's sick, so she must know something. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, she's not going to tell me.
Well, no.
Well,
she's not. She's already told you what she's going to tell you, that it's sick.
It's not supposed
you ask why, and you're like, you don't know why. You can ask her why.
It's not supposed to eat a lot of wood, but you transformed the wood in this area into rock. Gee.
I'm gonna.
I mean the reverse.
Right.
Rock into wood. Sorry.
Andrew, sorry. So if you want to ask her, you can ask her. But
yeah. I wanted to ask her like why it was sick.
She's like, oh, just something he ate.
Yeah.
It's like okay.
She's like, she turns to Sinich and she's like, meet with Ven. Explain to him what's going on.
Meet with who? Ven?
Yeah, Nash's Ven.
Nash's Ven. All right. And I nod and I try to collect the remaining of our party to head over to the guild pact hall area where we can meet with Nash's Ven. Is it the guild pact hall area?
No, it was in Precinct 4.
Well, it was Precinct 4. Let's go there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
An abandoned warehouse north of there. Okay.
On the way to while we're walking there, and so you guys don't believe he's working for somebody. You don't believe the words of Krenko, right? About Nash's Ven?
I keep it in mind. I mean, I'm not like necessarily decided one way or the other, but I'm not like completely ignoring what he said.
So how come he didn't want us to question him?
I mean, I don't know. It's not for us to ask, I suppose.
I asked Krenko. I was in that hut.
And I say, well, what did he say? And like, how do you escape? You think?
I don't know how he escaped. A worm? Could be you. Could be
Me?
Selesnya.
What? I'm not. I think about it, and I'm like, I remain silent because it this is part
It
of
could
like
have been the Selesnya.
it could have been
You
me,
realize.
and so I'm like, oh yeah, okay, never mind. I was gonna take offense, but then I was like, wait a minute, it could have been me.
Stupid commune.
Just saying. Like, I was just asking how he escaped. Taz got him free. I don't know. But he wouldn't give too much. And
So
I
wait,
left.
see fit to question Krenko.
Curiosity?
Hmm.
Okay. So if you're saying you admit you questioned Krenko
Yeah,
against orders.
I did.
Okay.
I'm just trying to be truthful with you guys.
I mean, I respect that, but do you think we should be truthful with Nash and Sven?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Why not?
Just what we've been through, and just everything seems off.
Interesting.
And so this is when I'm trying to get my story straight with whatever Anna's spewing. She's taking the lead here, and whatever story she wants to put forth, that's what I'm putting forth to Nash's fan. You know, to potentially protect the conclave.
Yeah.
But also, I have to tell them that what happened. I don't know. My loyalties are confused right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like, it seemed a bit odd that you saw fit to take that liberty.
Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna take this side. Like, what liberty? He questioned Krenko. Do you have questions for Krenko?
I mean, not. I mean, I suppose I do or did, but it was specifically stated that we were not to question him.
So you're just gonna follow any order?
I don't think that's that unreasonable an order, given our station in our respective guilds and what we're asked to do.
How can you be that naive, though?
Like,
What if you're getting just used?
I mean, what if Krenko was doing the exact same thing? What makes you trust Krenko over someone like Nash and Sven?
I don't trust anyone.
I'm a little hurt.
My mind open.
I'm a little hurt at this because I saved Anna's life, and I would assume that Anna would have trusted me. So like, while they're having their conversation, you see like an elephant tear fall down.
Oh, elephant tear. Oh, you made the elephant cry.
I made an elephant cry.
Oh, that's the saddest thing.
I'm just trying to protect you. That's what I'm saying.
You're trying to protect
we get
me?
betrayed by NASA's Ren. At least we'll be prepared for it.
Like, you're not being exactly altruistic.
Yeah, and I just keep walking.
Is it known that like the Semic like kind of goes against orders, or like what's like their program? Like what's
the Simic
sorry.
Go ahead. Ask your follow-up question.
I'm gonna say like with their, with the whole like giant blob that tried to take over the world on their like guild leader.
So under that guild leader is long gone.
I know, but like, did they change their public perception? I'm not saying like what the public perception is now, Are they like
They're-
very following ordery type?
Their
now?
public perception is generally very they are very insular and not very politically active. So they kind of keep to themselves and do their own things and run their own experiments, and they're not really involved in the political life. So they wouldn't have much of a reputation for these kind of things. Like, yes, they're insular, so they'll look to themselves first, but they're not like I said, like they're not like authoritarian either. But they are very insular. So they don't like. They're not like I said. There's like chaotic, kind of crazy experimenters, and there's also very rule bound, hide bound, kind of brick wall types. But in generally speaking, lots of the intricacies of Simic politics are internal to the guild. So they don't really have much of a reputation these days. People just kind of know them, like they kind of keep to themselves and don't really do much in terms of public politics.
In that case, I think I'm gonna like interject into the conversation that like what do you like? Basically, kind of like along the lines like, what do you care? Like Simic, your guild only cares for itself.
Well, we keep to ourselves, but when instructed to do something through the guild pack, which was an extension of my own guild, I feel like I should, listen.
And I like nod and be like, well, I guess we need to tell Nash's Ben what happened. Then, really,
I think we should.
Okay. So I will say that you guys make it to. So it's getting to be quite late in the day. You guys are all getting pretty tired. Almost, you guys haven't. Well, that's not true. You haven't gotten any restful sleep in about 24 hours. So you guys are getting pretty tired.
Yeah, we should.
And
like
what makes it worth as you kind of start as you trudge north into the outer reaches of the 10th district, up Tin Street, it starts pouring rain. The sky finally opens up. It's been threatening to rain for, the last week, and finally it's had enough.
It's a week of rain.
Well, no, it's been like cloudy and ominous for nearly a week now, and finally the sky opens up and it starts pouring rain. You guys are cold and grumpy. Well, you're not grumpy. You can decide, but the rain is very cold. So you recognize the old granary that Nash has pointed out to you as their rendezvous point. So there's a clay building that's been crumbling, and is kind of like, you guys are kind of halfway into the rubble belt on the edge of town. A kind of place that's mostly been abandoned. So Nash just kind of steps out of the entryway of a granary, and he's flanked by two very heavily armed guards. And he greets you. He says, "I notice you haven't apprehended my prisoner."
Yeah. We had, but he has escaped again.
He clicks his tongue angrily. He's like, "I see. And what exactly do you intend to do about that?" And he says, and I don't mean you three. And he gestures to you. I mean you three, if you understand me.
Why is this on our guilds?
He kind of casts his eyes back and forth. He's like, "We asked for your assistance because we assumed your guild would be capable of apprehending the suspect. And if you failed, well," and he kind of says "I don't think they'd want me to register my disapproval on ongoing matters. So tell me, what is the plan?"
So wait, what ongoing matters?
he kind of like he smiles a half smile and he says, "If you don't know, then your guilds haven't seen fit to tell you, and I am not going to be the one to do so."
Tells me anything.
Sorry, what did you say, Andrew? I didn't
I
catch.
said, man, nobody tells me anything.
Ven doesn't have any comment on that.
Yeah.
He doesn't tell you anything, ironically.
Yep, par for the course. I mean, look, I'm gonna look for Krenko. I'm committed to finding this guy. Just you should know that we had him and he escaped.
It's like, interesting. Do you know how he managed to escape?
We think it was, well, I'm almost positive it was a vigor spore worm that somehow came from underneath the Selesnian grove we were in and abducted him.
He frowns. He's like, interesting. So I speak to a member of the Simic, a member of the Azor, or of the, not Azores, a member of the Selesnya, and a member of the Golgari, and you are telling me a member of the Selesnya or a member of the Golgari are responsible for his disappearance?
Okay, wait, out of character. Are those the only two guilds that are reasonably connected to those kinds of worms? Or like to worms in general?
If it has guild involvement, those would be the guilds that would have been involved. If it was guild involved.
Okay.
Yes. Keep in mind that especially the Golgari can be quite factional to some degree. So it's possible that, but keep in mind, like, it's also certainly like it's not all. If it could not be guild affiliated, this person who is responsible for this as well, which is a possibility. And Ben probably knows that too. But
okay,
he's not guild affiliated himself technically, but he has lots of influence over the guilds. So it could also be another guild who's applying pressure for some reason, right? So there's always lots of things that it could be, but he's pointing out the obvious. Like the obvious possible association is that one of you is responsible for what's going on.
Okay.
Since you're the only people who had him and the only people who knew, in theory.
Yeah.
Right. So what the heck?
I mean, my character's smart, but she's kind of naive, so she's gonna be like, I guess so. I don't know. Like, it's possible. It's very possible. I have no idea, honestly. Although there is one of our number who has something to say to you. And I turn to Enna.
I saw it fit to question him.
He frowns. He's like, on what subject?
Who set him free, how he got away, what he's been doing.
And what did he say?
This Taz character set him free. And he's still going to war with the Shatter Gang.
As I suspected.
And we were also ambushed by the Shatter Gang during the Selesnya mishap. But they're going to help us get into the underground chambers with the worm. And we'll follow the investigation.
So Ven kind of gets like a little some light. His eyes are kind of like cold and hard, and a little bit of like they soften slightly at that news. She's like, yes, very, very well.
But and I like look at Alesnia, and this is like because I've taken Alesnia's comment to like being thrown shade at like the Senek and the Golgari, so I'm like gonna throw shade back at the Semics, and I said, yeah, but it's likely that a contact of the Semics, and I like look at Alesnia, informed the Shatter Gang that we had Krennic, or we're about to capture Krennic.
I look at Chenik and check if that was even real or not.
Oh, I'm
read his face.
Oh, I'm being perfectly. I'm trying to like throw shade on was it Valencia or Flelish, whatever her name was.
Oh, Faelish.
Faelish, yeah. Basically, I'm throwing Faelish under the bus, and that like he's friends with Alesnia. So who knows what even happened?
Ah, right. I see. So you're like, oh, Falish and Zala are friends, so who knows? Like they could be up to. They could have.
Yeah. Oh, fair
manufactured
enough.
But
Okay.
I'm trying not to like say her name because I promised that I
Right.
wouldn't.
Fair enough. Your subtlety seems to go. Well, Ven doesn't react to it. He hears you, but he doesn't react, and he kind of goes on and says, "Very well, very well. Provided you still have the means of tracking down Krenko, it would still do me good to have him apprehended." And he kind of thinks for a second. He's like, "However, our plans must change. If you manage to apprehend him again, just deliver him to here, hold on." And he like rummages around and he gives you like a little like a magical crystal. And he says and he gives you like it's like Andrew, you'd be familiar with these. These are like basically like one-way communicators.
Okay.
So basically, you just got to hold it and speak a short incantation, and it'll send a coded message to the other matching one. He's like, when you apprehend him, use this code, and I will come find you.
Okay.
I'd hope to be more subtle, but with Krenko's continued absence, the balance of power in Precinct 6 will be increasingly difficult to maintain. So here you go, Andrew. You get like just like I said, like a little tiny little crystal. So
Okay.
he'll entrust it to you since you're the magic user, and also you're not either of the guilds that he's suspicious of at the moment. So he hands it to you. Says, "Okay, track him down, and when you catch him, use this, and I will send a trusted associate."
So use this. He means the crystal, right?
Yeah. So you just think it'll speak a short information. It'll send a coded message to the crystal. There's like a matching pair, and you see that Ven's holding the other one.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it sends it to him, and then he'll be able to, once you know what it is. Okay. So
during that, I say,
Mhm.
During our investigation, we had to give up the money to find information. Would you be willing to give us a little bit more to continue the
He
investigation?
nods. He says, "Very well. I will give you an advance on your reward, given the difficulties you have already incurred. So yeah, you're gonna get 100 gold on completion. So he gives you guys 10 more gold apiece.
Okay.
And by the way, I think you guys, because I was gonna have it be like a party funds, but since I have like a way of like, it's very easy. I'll just add the money for you guys. I'll just put it into your personal characters now because there's a easy way to calculate weight. So I'll give you each 10 more gold.
Cool. And I say thank you.
Yeah. So he kind of just shells out. He has like a little purse at his side, and he gives each of you 10 more gold. I also give you guys some random loot from last time as well. Yeah. So if you look at your character sheets, you'll notice that there's a little bit more money there.
So I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, I just added a little bit more, just a little bit of income for you guys. I like when you guys are poking around the crates and whatnot. Like I assume there was just some like coppers and things that you guys snatched up and all that, and loot and all that. Playing D&D. Got to be a little bit of loot from time to time. Okay, so with that, Ven dismisses you. He says, "And again, when you do apprehend him, don't speak to him. He knows sensitive information and many guild secrets who their members wish to remain hidden." And he kind of looks meaningfully at each of you in turn.
Okay.
I won't.
Sorry, what did you say, Andrew?
He said, I won't.
Just straight up matter of factly.
Okay. So yeah, you
Uh,
guys will still have like a little while before the it'll be still a few hours before they're able to dig a hole down to where Tyler is. So if you guys have some free time to do what you'd like.
I would like to sleep.
Yeah,
Okay.
Long
Yep.
rest.
Yeah, so you guys can take a long rest. That's fine.
Okay.
And you guys will find find some accommodation, like a little ramshackle. Well, I guess technically because of Sean's ability, you can sleep in a nearby Vernati if you'd like.
Yes.
I'm not letting them.
Oh
No.
shit! Okay, in that case, it'll be 1 silver for the night for the
No.
both of you.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. -1 silver.
Yeah, I take it down.
Okay. All right. So now at this point, I will give you guys some messages. So you guys communicate with your guilds in your various ways. Okay. So I'm gonna give you guys some whispers, and I'm probably not gonna give you guys whispers at the start of next session. But I just want to give you guys some more steak to bite at, stuff to think about. So hold on.
Ooh, a lot of stuff has happened already.
I just have to modify things a little bit.
Also, does anyone want 1 rope or 10 torches?
You don't want it?
No. No, it's not that I don't want it. I just can't carry it.
Hmm.
I could carry it.
Cool.
What's the weight?
Oh no, I don't know. I think the rope and the 10 torch. 1 torch is 1 pound, so 10 pounds for the torches. And,
Wait, you said 1 rope is 1 pound? You
oh
mean...
no, 1 torch is 1 pound, so 10 torches is 10 pounds. I don't know what the rope. Let's check it right.
Shouldn't it be like in your character sheet?
I did, but I erased it because. 10 pounds for the rope.
It's a lot of rope.
So 20 pounds altogether.
All right. Well, I wrote that down.
Okay, Scenich. So you get a message. And Deed.
So not only do we have to find Cranko, we have to find Yaya. I mean, I don't know if you guys care about funny Yaya, but
Yeah, I care about Yaya. I think.
really? Like you just met the guy.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. I think.
I mean, I don't even really care about Yaya. He's like from my guild. But I just can't let him die because it'll look bad on me.
Let me just make sure that I've got this name right. Sorry. I want to make sure I'm actually mentioning someone. Here we are.
Also, sorry if I'm making a loud noise. I'm eating a freezy.
No, it's okay.
It's okay. Nice.
It's yeah. No, I was gonna say let's chill. I'm into it. I just need to find out who this guy's name. No, where's this guy's name? My God, I knew I. Here it is. Hmm. Um,
So, what are you guys? Where are you guys' guild orders?
Straight up. Nothing. I was making a sandwich. Then go back home.
Well, then, goodbye then. You better be making a sandwich.
Yeah.
okay. I don't know what happened to this person. I might just be making it up, but whatever.
You can even say that their name. You can change it later.
Yep, I'm just making up a name. So there you go, Andrew. Okay, so you guys have all gotten some information, and again, like this will be also next session when you dive into the pit. These will be relevant generally.
We long rested, right? Like,
Yep, so you guys have had a long rest now.
What
So
does the long rest do?
full heal, and you get your hit dice back,
Oh yeah.
and get to, like I said, it's just basically just a full reset as far as I'm aware. The only thing that doesn't fully reset is like I think exhaustion only goes down by 1, but you guys aren't exhausted. So.
get your spells back.
Yeah, you get your spells back.
All your special things. Like, I have Wild Shape. If I cast a Wild Shape, I get that back.
Yeah.
Half of your hit dice back. And if you're prepared spellcaster like me, you can choose new spells.
All right. Cool. I think I'm gonna like ask Anna to elaborate on what Grenko said, because they didn't like it said that like Grenko had helped by Kaz, and like who's Kaz and how they help.
I don't. Taz was that. She was.
So the only thing you know about Taz is that Krenko kind of implied that Taz was one of the people who helped him escape.
Yeah, but I don't. I know he was one of the people of interest at the very beginning of
Yes. His name has come up in connection with, well, their name has come up in connection with Krenko before.
Yeah. But I don't know who he is. So I'm just going to say, I guess it was one of his friends. Set him free. He didn't elaborate.
All right. And I think I don't know what I want to do. I think I'll probably be waiting for Anna or Alesnia to take the lead here because I am a little at a loss of what to do.
Hmm?
Actually, during the talk,
It was like
I
was
say,
it like online or something? I don't know. Sorry, what were you guys saying?
no, just during the talk.
Yep.
I'll just say, also, thank you for saving me during the fight when I passed out. I deserve
Oh,
you
that's nice.
And I immediately launch into a recruitment rhetoric to join the Selesnya Guild and how all life is sacred.
I'm okay.
Nice.
I don't need that right now, but I appreciate it.
And I nod and say, remember, even your life is sacred. For your
Wait.
life
Whoa.
is our life.
So, how come they kicked us out?
Am I saying who kicked us out?
The Selesnya.
What do you mean?
They kicked us out during the making of Selesnya.
What?
Make a history check, Sean.
What?
I'll tell you how confused you are. You're not that confused. It's not a secret. The Golgari Guild was actually founded by elves who were expelled from the Selesnya.
Okay.
And so, and especially Steed's character being an elf themselves probably feels that especially harshly. Because like I'll give you a bit of Ravnica culture. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna bother going to my virtual convocation. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, yeah, it's like, oh, what? I'll look at my webcam and look at someone make a speech. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to my regular convocation. I just have to because other people will be there and be happy to see me. But given that's not happening, not much reason for me to go. Anyway, yes, a bit of Ravnica history. So the original kind of like center of power in the Golgari was actually what's called the Matka, which is basically like an elven kind of sub enclave within the Golgari, which is like their priesthood, for lack of a better term. And so most of the elves in the Golgari still have a very strong attachment to their head priestess of the Matka. Currently, that's Izoni. And so probably Anna is I don't know, I don't want to presume, but I assume is kind of aligned with them as well, being an elf herself. And generally kind of is involved in. We haven't really dove into your guys' guild associations yet. But we'll get there, and Steve can kind of you can each find your own place within your guild as well as outside of it, right? Yeah, so Sean, you actually probably are aware of what he's talking about. Like, he means like the elves, specifically the elves, tend to be a little more prickly about the Selesnya because they were rejected by them, and elves never forget a grudge.
And do I know why they were rejected?
Probably not, actually. It's not actually really known why. At least not to the rank and file. And even most people, you'd have to know a lot about history to really get it, to get the details.
Okay.
Basically, it's because the general reason is because they're doing Golgari things instead of Selesnya things, right? They're interested in death and the cycle of life, and they're not doing the things that the Selesnya. Like I said, like if you look at like the way the two guilds conduct themselves today, like that opposition, most people believe that that's why. Like the same.
Oh, sorry. I think I'm gonna probably parrot back the recruiters tool that they were probably tested and found that they didn't find life sacred enough and wanted to protect it like enough, because if you don't in your first year, you're kicked out. But you know, if you continually act in that regard against the sacredity of life and like the one soul, you're you you yeah, basically I say a lot of fluffy words that sound really nice, but if you like really drill down to it, it's probably like you're too independent. But like I don't ever say that really. That's the message I give to
Yeah.
to Enna.
And I'm just gonna say that, like, life is amazing, but eventually all leads to death, which is just as amazing. Just have a different perspective on it. And I'm just trying to like understand his viewpoints.
I think when he says that, I like turn it around on him as like a probably kind of like a rote like debatey kind of way, where it's like, yes, like, you know, death is amazing, but it spawns new life, and we are all part of the web, and like really that's what it's like, kind of refocusing, like that's what's important, not the death part but the life part.
I laugh and just like, at least we have similar viewpoints.
And then this was like, I guess, and then yeah.
Yeah, just thank you, stamp off.
And I'm kind of like a little bit put off by like the fact that he's like focusing on death. Like, ugh, death. I'm not even gonna say you're welcome, kind of thing. He's gonna
Oh my God.
silently judge you.
Okay.
Okay, so
there's-
yeah, if there's anything else you guys, yeah, I like this. This is good character stuff. But in terms of like your characters, there's stuff you want to do before you head into like you know, you guys are going underground. So, well, I guess that's not as intimidating for you, Steed, because that's kind of like you're gonna feel probably more comfortable down there than you do up here. But
I might switch my spells up, but yeah, I'm gonna wait at the Selesnya conclave and just wait till the thing is open, or the path.
So wait, how are we expected to traverse these tunnels? Like, is there going to be big drops and like? I guess what should we expect going in?
I don't know. Are you asking me? Is your character thinking about it, or are you asking?
I'd be asking the Dryad specifically.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll say. Generally speaking, okay. So she basically is like, something's going on in the tunnels down there. We don't really want to send the worm back in. We have reason to believe that there's something toxic happening that influenced him to that has been negatively affecting him. So like, we've cleared out the tunnel that he came in, but we don't want to risk sending in any larger groups. So chances are there's going to be she's like, it's tough to tell like exactly what's going on because the ground is very porous. So there's lots of small not catacombs, but like lots of small passageways and tunnels and lots of pockets that could be water or air or gases or any kind of any sort of things. She's like, you know, like it's going to be a real war in down there. There's going to be some verticality, but probably not like it's probably not a big cave system. So if that answers your question.
Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing, like, should we bring climbing gear, or are we like...
I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Your character can decide how to prepare themselves.
Right, but like, is there going to be like literal like areas where there's like drops and like we have to like go up? Or are we going to like ride a worm through the whole thing? I guess is what...
She's just basically explicitly telling you guys are going in alone, and they're not going to be able to send worms in because there's something wrong with the
okay. Right.
And she's like she's a water dryad, so she probably hasn't traversed it herself.
And she's also like looking kind of like suspiciously at Anna. It's like whenever there's trouble underground, the Selesnya always know who to blame.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Well, if you inform me of that, I'd be like, Anna gave me a rope.
That's helpful.
Like you can climb rope. I don't know. And did anyone see Yaya get like eaten by the worm?
You didn't get eaten by the worm, or
Yeah,
Explicitly?
he fell
forget.
into the hole.
yeah, just when the worm kind of emerged, like they kind of fell down a hole, basically.
Oh, okay. And
I can tell that
presumably the worm, the hole sealed back up itself. So I think what I'm going to do.
Yeah, so basically what happened was this is what they've spent time doing is they've kind of like diverted the worm and kind of wiggled him around in his hole so that he has a little bit of extra space. And so you guys are gonna be able to go down that hole like with the extra space. So that even though once he's like left and it's kind of quote unquote sealed up, there'll still be a gap that's big enough for you guys to go down into.
Okay. I think I want to go by maybe how much is like a cure light wound scroll or two? Probably too expensive for me.
Let me just have a quick look what that would be.
I guess it's like a level 1 scroll.
Scroll might be expensive, but a potion wouldn't be.
Okay.
Like if you want like a potion, that'll be definitely doable. If you wanted like a scroll,
How much
you'd
is
have
a potion?
Let me see.
Do you want the standard prices?
Yeah.
50 gold for the lowest healing potion.
Oh yeah. I guess healing potions are pretty expensive, huh?
Yeah.
But we might be able
Potion
to
of healing is 50 GP, yeah. So that's pretty expensive.
maybe guild discount.
I think what I'm gonna do then in that case is probably go buy material components. How much are material components for a spell?
Cheap.
Like how cheap? Like a gold?
Like
for whatever.
let me look.
For like a normal like a level 1 spell. That's not like identify or whatever.
I know what like focuses cost. But I don't know what material components for spells are supposed to cost.
Well, whatever. I just want to have the material components for the next time we need to rest at a Selesnya place and need a bunch of healing. I want to be prepared and be able to provide that to them. And I think also I want to go gambling because I feel like, you know, as someone who was indebted to the
Okay, a spell component pouch costs 5.
Yeah, so as someone who's identified as indebted to the Orzhov Syndicate at one point, I feel like I have a gambling problem. So
sure.
So I'm gonna buy a spell component, but also I'm gonna gamble. So I have 19 gold to blow apparently. I think I'm gonna blow 10 of that gold. Gambling.
Okay.
So
you don't even wanna like try and win?
No, I want to try win, but also I'm definitely blowing it.
Damn, okay. Okay. I don't really know how I'm gonna simulate that.
I'd only stop if I win absolutely big. So just give me like a very slim chance, and we'll just do a roll.
I mean, sure. Okay, roll. This will be funny. Roll 10,000 sided dice.
Oh yeah, what's the slim chance? What's
No,
the win?
The higher you roll, the better your result will be.
10,000. Okay, let's do it. Let's go. It's like 4. No, wait, it doesn't understand. Oh, because I didn't do it right. /R. There we go. Oh yeah.
Oh,
9,000. That's pretty
Alright.
good. Um,
Get percentile.
let me think about what you should get. 9,000 and what? 40 something? What was it?
35.
9,035.
Nice. Okay. You win. You win a ticket to an exclusive restaurant and a free meal there.
nice.
Oh, I'm gonna go there.
Okay. It's in a week's time.
Oh.
So normally a ticket, like a reservation at this place would cost, and a reservation and a meal at this place would cost like a couple hundred gold. So this is actually a pretty big winning for you. But of course, you don't actually get any money, so your mileage may vary. And you did spend the money you said you spent. So there you go.
I am.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna say that you kind of were in the lower part of Tin Street down here, because that's the kind of place where there's gambling halls down there, that sort of thing. So, okay. Anything else you guys want to take care of before you head in? Anything else your characters want to do as a preparatory, or anything else that kind of your character, like, out of character, you want to do or you want to prepare for?
I'm good.
Debating? Sorry.
No, I'm okay.
I was debating if I wanted to prepare Featherfall, but
Oh,
it'll be fine.
While you're falling to your death.
Yeah. It's like if we fall together.
okay.
I think we're ready to adventure.
Okay, well, in that case, we'll just call it there then. And then
Okay.
next session will be a good old-fashioned dungeon crawl,
Yes.
more or less.
I'm ready. So ready for adventure.
So yeah, you guys. So the secret messages I sent you guys, that'll also apply for next time, just in case it
Okay.
wasn't clear for some of you. You might not have realized, but hopefully, yeah. So I won't send you a new one at the beginning of next session, but I will to Tyler. So yeah, but we'll just call it there.
Cool.
Sweet. I just want to ask one question
Yep.
to you before we end.
Yep.
I know you probably wanted us to fight, but you also said that you wanted this to be more like talky. So by me being like inviting them to like trying to avert combat, do you like that or
Yes,
or...
that was great. I think that was a really good move.
Okay.
And smart too, because I mentioned that they don't want to actually fight you; they just want to kind of vandalize the place, right? So
Yeah.
you were like, "Oh, maybe I can divert them." The only reason that things got, I think, the session derailed because I was like, "Well, they rolled a natural 20, so I have to make them like discover the hole, right? I can't not." And that's going to be like really suspicious, right? They're going to be like, "What?" And yeah, exactly, it was supposed to be like a later plot hook that you were supposed to go back to Van failing, and then there was going to be like few new strands that you guys could follow to try and find him again.
Oh yeah.
Wait, was he not supposed to escape somehow, or like I don't know even was that?
Well, no,
was that
at the end of
scripted?
well, no, at the end of last session when Steed released him, I was like, okay, there's a few ways that I could spin this. How am I going to get it to work? And then I was like, okay, I understand. I know what I'm going to do is they're not going to know why he disappeared. And then when he goes to Ven, he'll give them some leads, or the guilds will give you guys leads that you guys can chase down and try and find him again, or maybe change course and do something else depending on what you guys all want to do. But because like something happened which brought a lot of suspicion onto a small group of people, I was like, okay, we'll just rework it and I'll just fast forward and make this dungeon happen next session instead. And this is probably gonna happen a little way. And not like, again, like I was planning to have other things. I was actually planning that maybe you guys would capture Krenko and he wouldn't escape in the first place. I actually didn't expect that Steed was going to let him go. Interestingly enough, but I understand it because of what I had kind of implied to his character. I understand why his character did what he did, or did what they did. So,
Mhm.
so like that's fine, and I think it'll be more interesting this way. But yeah, so it'll be good. So
Okay, that answers my question. I'm gonna continually be a pacifist person because that's what my
yeah, and like I said, I think that that what you did was also good because, like I said, I didn't want it to be like an actual combat.
Mhm.
Like if you guys wanted to fight and you wanted to turn it into a combat and like make it a fight to the death, by all means, like I'm not going to stop you from doing that, right? Like obviously it's in the rules and I have the stats for these characters and I could do that. But I basically said explicitly, like the Dryad told you, just buy me some time and I'll make this happen.
Yeah.
And
Also, I don't think we've killed anyone yet.
We killed a lot of people. Like
Yeah,
Tyler,
I mean,
Tyler
some
like
of those
punched someone in
goblins
the
didn't
throat.
make it. I hate to break it to you.
Like
What? No.
Tyler punched someone in the throat and they died, I believe, last session.
Damn it.
Yes, some
And-
of
and
those
then, like-
goblins didn't make it.
and like the bomb exploded, and then like I'm pretty sure like 4 or 5 of them just outright.
Okay, well, I
got
didn't kill
burned.
anybody yet.
I mean, I didn't kill anybody either, but like some of us here.
Freaking Simic.
The Simic rogues.
The Simic.
For life.
Azalea.
It's like, burn it all.
They're,
What's going on, Simic? Why are you so violent? Huh?
I don't know. It's just part of the program. Gotta do what you gotta do.
part of the program. But yeah, I think it's okay. I just wanted to ask that question to see.
Yeah.
To see.
No, I mean, like I said, I don't want to like I said, like if you guys, like I said, if you guys want to fight, if your characters want to fight, then I'm fine with that. I always want to give you guys multiple ways of dealing with situations, right?
Mhm.
So you don't have to fight if you don't want to, with rare exceptions.
Right.
Like last time, like the set piece in the warehouse was always going to turn into a fight because I wanted to do fun things with the loader. So I was like, this is definitely going to turn into a fight somehow. Like if you guys had been like extra sneaky, you could have like you'd have been like sneaky. You could have like found the weapons ahead of time and like peered into the window and got lots of intelligence and maybe sneakily taken out a few guys.
Right.
Yeah, I was never gonna sneakily take out of the few guys. I think my plan would have been to sneakily, probably either gather intelligence or start the loader because I was like, "There's a giant mech thing. I'm gonna fight these goblins with a mech." So if the goblins didn't use the mech on me, I would have used the mech on the goblins.
That's a hilarious picture. A giant elephant came to a goblin-sized mech.
I don't know. I was like, oh, there's a mech. We should use it. It's like was my first thought, and then my second thought was like, well, I don't know. I don't really want to fight them. I guess as the character, as Sean the player, I was like, we need to use this mech to fight the goblins. And as the character, I was like, we shouldn't really fight the goblins.
Yeah, I was gonna make it descend into a fight eventually, but I was hoping, like again, like that you would be able to. Like I said, you got into the building without arousing suspicion, which was like half the battle, and I expected that you'd be able to do that. And like, because if you guys had started a fight outside the building, I'm like, that probably would have been a bad idea. But you guys thankfully realized it would have been a bad idea.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay. Cool. I can't wait for next session.
Yeah.
Are we doing it 3 next time or 4?
I don't know. That's up to you guys. Like I said, it doesn't matter to me.
Earlier the better for me.
And well, yeah, but I think Sean says you can't start earlier than
probably 3:30. But I think 4 is probably best. Usually I do stuff on Sunday. It's why usually when we were playing Torchbearer, we would run at 4, just because it's just easier.
Well, like I said, if that's what's going to work, then that'll just have to be when it is. But
yeah,
because obviously, like
I mean, it seems fine because, like, personally, for me, even though we started late, it's like I could probably go for a while. I don't know about anybody else, but it's like I think sometimes we'll want to go forever, and then it'll just be like, oh, it's kind of getting late. But also sometimes we'll be like wanting to go, but then like we'll just need to stop because of the amount of prep. And I think that's fine.
Well, yeah, like that. What happened today? I was always expecting it to be short, one way or the other. Because I was just like, oh, I just wanted to wrap up this little vignette with and have you guys meet Ven again. And what he was going to do is give you guys hooks for next time, but the hook just came first, so I had to rework it so that you guys would still meet with him, so that I could still wrap that part of the quest up.
Yeah. Well, also we don't want to do like too much with like without Tyler. So
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's the other thing too. I didn't want to. Well, it was going to be short even if Tyler was here.
Okay.
But the fact that he wasn't here, I was like, okay, well, how am I gonna? And it all kind of was serendipitous actually, because the fact that he wasn't here gave me a route to be like, oh, well, then I'll keep it short by doing this instead of what I was originally planning on doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Next session, you guys are, like I said, going into the dungeon, so it should be fun.
That will be sweet.
Yeah, can't trust the Simic. They're crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows?
Oh, really?
There's like murderous rampages by what I'm seeing. This going like this.
Mhm.
I was like,
Yes.
you can't trust a Simic, and like in my memory, I just see like a Simic like monk with huge jacked arms like punch a little like kobold in the throat, and he like topples over without breathing. And I'm like, oh my god, like what was he doing, and why did he punch that like kobold who's like half his size for no reason?
Wanted to make a point.
Probably.
The point is they're violent.
Probably because like we didn't have a warrant. I mean, like lots exist in this world city.
You guys probably do have like the equivalent of a warrant.
Do we?
Just
It's not in it's not in my item list.
No, because you got no. I think I did make this clear earlier because you guys were a little nervous about the B&E, and I was just like, don't worry. Like if you break into a place, like yes, you'll probably get arrested because technically you're not officially working for the guild, but you probably won't get into any actual trouble because you are on guild business. So there's that. Like the other thing, like the guilds all cooperate on one specific thing, and that is maintaining their privileges. So if you're doing guild business, there's no like real substantial. You have to do something really substantial for you to get into any serious trouble. So keep that in mind.
Diplomatic community.
But my
like
guild,
you guys are. I'm not saying you guys have. You don't have like diplomatic immunity, but it's like a flavor of diplomatic immunity.
But my guild like frowns on like punching of throats of kobolds. I'm just gonna say.
No. Yeah, I just mean like in general. Like if you guys are worried about like doing crimes, like don't worry about like the law per se, because in a certain sense, like you guys have like some kind of legal protection. Your guild will stand in your corner even if you do something pretty bad, as long as it's not to them.
Yeah, this is where the Celestia shines because we are always right. Life is sacred. No,
Scoff every time.
We're not caught doing anything wrong, really. So it's fine. It's fine. It's all the Simic that was like punching people in the throat. I don't know. Cynics are bad. Anyways, I'm really looking forward to playing next week, and I'm going to end the stream. Bye.
Yeah, that's what's going on. Bye.